Well, guys, what are we talking about this afternoon? Well, I'm lucky enough right now to have a couple knives in that I have the mini versions of. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at them and we're going to talk about some of the things that happen with miniature versions or mini versions of knives. They're not always great, sometimes in some ergonomic things that happen, but we're not going to look at it here. You guys know what time it is. It's time to turn around and look at it from above, but first, turn down the volume because here comes a little bit of music. I dropped the remote. Four knives here. Now I have two full-size versions and two mini versions. So we're going to take a look at these because every once in a while there's a little bit of a difference between the mini and the large. So let's go ahead and move two of these out of the way and talk about the first batch. All right, guys, let's look at these first ones. These are the Centauris by Artisan Cutlery. This is a Ray Laconico design. These ones are done in titanium, carbon fiber, and S35VN. Now, these are very similar, but I'm going to tell you there are things about these that are definitely different, and I'm going to point them out. So a lot of times companies will do this. Artisan was really famous for doing two different size points. You had a large and you had a small. I don't dislike that idea, but things don't always translate real clearly. So let's look at the small first, because the large is definitely my favorite of the two. So you've got the carbon fiber, titanium, nice pocket clip, nice Warncliffe style blade. It is got some belly to it. It comes down nice, drops down nice and clean. This carbon fiber on this is done really, really well. The action on it is really nice and smooth. And it's pretty comfortable in hand. However, I really like the large better. This one, I don't have a problem with the top flipper on this. Both of them, I will say, I hate to say it because I like Ray's designs, but both of them have a very sharp lock bar. Same pocket clip. Now, this one is much more comfortable in hand because it's larger. I don't feel cramped. This does not have anything in the way of a finger guard or flipper tab that would prevent you from coming up and over. So I like having a little bit more handle. This one feels a little less secure in my hand because it's a lot smaller and I have big hands. Couple other little differences. There's a lot more jimping on the spine of this one. The spine of this one, the jimping is here only. The spine of this one, you've got jimping all the way up. Now, aesthetically, they are identical. These are both great knives. You got a Ray Laconico design by Artisan Cutlery. You've got the cutout in the backspacer like I like. Nice on both of them. They are both the same. They both have the same overall design. There's only some small little differences. I will say though, as much as I like this one feels awkward in hand. Now, both of them do have an issue that I don't like. There's not a lot of room for that lock bar to access it. They didn't scallop that out. But on this one, it's not such a problem. It's this one, because it's so much smaller, have so much less room. Because not only is it smaller lengthways, it is dimensionally smaller, even thickness here and here. So you're looking at a much smaller knife. Did anything else really change in the ergos? No, on this one it didn't. Sometimes you'll find on some of these mini knives, and I will call out my friends over at Fair and Forge on this. They did a mini Archbishop, and to make everything fit and have it be the same and have the same blade shape, but maintain ergos that were comfortable, it changed a little bit of blade handle ratio and it changed the shape of the handle. I'm not a fan of the mini Archbishop. Sometimes you can translate it almost exactly. Like with this one, with Ray's, you don't have any finger choils or anything that have to be cut out. And so they translate a little bit better. So, you know, you're looking at two knives that are almost identical except for size. Like I said, this one feels a little more comfortable in my hand. It sounds better. It's got a better action in my opinion. Listen to this. just drop in there, bang. Both of these, I was going to say, both of these rock solid, but listen to this one. It just shy of Shake Shack, but listen to that detent drop in. Bang. Does this one sound the same? This one sounds a lot softer. See, I like everything about this one a little bit better. So there's the first two. The Artisan Centauri, large and small. Sorry, I couldn't think of the name of the knife. All right, let's go get the other two. All right, guys, the next knives we're going to look at are the Horizon D by REATE. Now, there's some definite differences between these. It could be chalked up to this is a first edition run. This was the first run of these knives, and this one is a more newer one that has come out recently. But this is the mini, and this is the full-size original. We're going to look at how they are so similar and yet a little bit different. Now, this is, in my opinion, the best production knife I have ever owned. M390 carbon fiber titanium. It is a gorgeous knife. It has held up incredibly well. It has been one of those knives that if I'm judging another knife by anything, it's going to be by this. This is the best all-around production knife ever, hands down. I just recently did a video of it. But there's also a mini version. So this mini version is significantly heavier. So, and I don't think it's 100% due to the, I don't think it's 100% due to the size or the carbon fiber. There's some milling down in here, and we're going to check and see. I don't think that there's milling on this one. So you guys can see there's a little bit of weight reduction in there on the back of that. Titanium backspacer, great M390 blade, beautiful fuller that goes down it. I did the titanium in a blue and gold on this, did the hardware all gold. It needs re-anodized, but still a great looking little knife. This is the mini. Now, it is a good bit smaller. You can see it side by side. It's about almost about half an inch, 3/4 of an inch smaller. Some of the other differences are this finger choil does not seem like it feels as large, but you also don't have near the intrusion of the flipper tab that you have on this one. Pocket clip's a little bit different. It is heavier. Let's look and see. As you can see, I guess they did pocket that out a little bit. It's just really heavy. I guess it would just be the titanium. I never looked. We're doing this blind. Other differences, blade shape. This blade has a swedge. This one has a fuller. And if you look, this one here has got a much softer radius. It does not curve in as much. Flipper tab's a little different on this one. And this is a lot different here at the Bricasso because I actually took material out. The grind line on this is actually different too. If you look here, that grind is a lot different than the plunge you have on this one. I find this angular one a lot more attractive, but like I said, it was problematic, so I took some material out here. The blade on this actually feels like it's thicker blade stock, but I think that's just because it does not terminate as thinly behind the edge as this one does. Hardware's still the same. Lock bar cutout right here is almost identical. Another big difference, pocket clip. This is a sculpted pocket clip that comes down like this, is open here, a little bit wider, really kind of reminiscent of the Grimsmo Norseman pocket clip, except it's been opened up here. This one is just more of a straight line pocket clip, and it does not transition down as thinly behind it at the back. So this one kind of stands up a little proud, and it can be a little hot spotty. I'm not a fan of this mini. I'm not a fan of the mini Horizon D, but if you were looking for one that is really similar to this, almost identical, the ergos on it, I'm not gonna lie, the ergos are so similar. It's just, I'm so used to the much larger version. This feels too small. It doesn't have the same feel. This one, just about perfect. It does have a little bit of the hinder clip stuff going on here, or hinder flipper tap going on here. It kind of does dig down in. And the only other main difference that I really saw is the way that they did the lock bar itself. This one's pretty square and angular, and this one comes down to a much smoother circle. And then there is a spot here where the detent ball is at that was drilled all the way through, and this one is missing. So, I mean, there are some differences. Flipper tab's different, things like that. All in all, these are both great knives. Which one would I take? In both cases, I'm going to tell you right now, both cases, I would take the larger one in both cases, but that is 100% because I'm a big guy and I have big hands. So we're not going to spend any more time on this. I thought it would be kind of cool to look at a couple of the minis since I had them in at the same time. I could get them in the same video. A lot of fun, a little 4-fast, full size versus minis. So guys, let's turn this around, do some final thoughts, and get you on about your day. Guys, that's it on this one. Sometimes the minis are a little problematic because in the design language, things have to say the same when you shrink it down. And so sometimes you don't get the same ergos and sometimes you don't get the same overall look. These ones are pretty true to their original sizes. Yeah, that's it on this one, guys. If you like the content, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the content, give it a thumbs down, but tell me why. I can't change it if you don't tell me what you don't like. If you want to support the channel, it's as simple as, like I always say, like, share, subscribe. Drop a comment, hit the bell icon so you make sure you get notifications of everything I put up. I put up a lot of content. Also, make sure you have notifications turned on your device because if you don't, the bell doesn't matter. Other ways you can support the channel if you want to do it financially are all down in the description below. I have a membership that gets you in on distinct benefits based on tier. Pick the tier that suits best what you want, but everyone saves $5 off my sharpening service. Everyone has access to my gilded server, and if you're a premium tier member, you have access to a sharpening tutorial series that I built a playlist for, walking you through all the steps of sharpening. Other ways you can do it: I have affiliate links. A lot of the stuff you guys see on the channel, tools, things like that, they're down below. It doesn't cost you anything extra at checkout, but the vendors pay me for having brought it to you. And to finalize, I have a merchandise store on Ember Shirt Co., where I've set up a coupon code that works anywhere on Ember Shirt Co., and that coupon code is CrazySharp, all one word, capital C, capital S, CrazySharp. All one word, saves you 10% at checkout. And if you send me pictures of you wearing my merchandise, I will put them in the video. Guys, that's it. I love y'all. Keep it clean in the comment section. It helps me moderate the channel. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And I will see you in the next video.